This is the liver. And this is what happens when someone punches you in the liver. A well-placed shot to the liver, even one that's not particularly hard, can put you in excruciating pain. If you've yet to experience this sensation in your life, well, consider yourself fortunate. A blow to the liver, whether a punch, a knee, or a swift kick, will likely leave you incapacitated. In addition to the agonizing pain, you'll feel breathless, fatigued. Your legs may give out from under you. It's not a matter of willpower or how big or tough you are. A swift shot to the liver will shut your body down. So why does this happen? Why is your liver so vulnerable? If we compare the liver shot to, say, the head shot, you can see that they're both extremely devastating. They both target a vulnerable part of the body, yet the effects of these strikes are actually quite different. When you see professional tough guys like Donald Cowboy Cerrone take a multitude of shots to the head without blinking, only to collapse when they're struck by a single blow to the body, it seems kind of strange. However, the thing is, when it comes to headshots, well, they don't really hurt. At least, not in the moment. When you get knocked in the head, you become this.
That is actually a very interesting fact about getting hit in the head. For those of you that have ever been actually hit in the head, like during a fight or whatever, do you actually remember it hurting when you got hit in the head? You probably don't, because it really doesn't in the moment. It's later on that you're like, oh my God, I have a freaking nagging headache. You probably have a knot somewhere on your head, but in the moment, it really doesn't hurt, as in like pain. It's very interesting.
Disoriented, but you don't necessarily process the pain. This is the opposite of a liver shot, where your mind is actually clear, but your body has completely shut down. Now let's take a closer look at the liver to really understand what's going on. This reddish-brown
Dude, look at how massive that is. Look at how big it is.
wedge-shaped organ is the liver. It's located on the right side of the body, below the diaphragm and overlying the gallbladder. It's the largest and heaviest internal organ in the human body, weighing about 1.5 kilograms. This is about 2.5% of an adult human's body weight. The liver is responsible for many important functions, including the detoxification of harmful substances, protein synthesis, nutrient storage, and the production of biochemicals necessary for digestion. It's one of the most vital organs in the body. If your liver fails and you don't get a liver transplant, you die. According to a 2013 study on blunt liver injuries, if a healthy adult male were to take a direct liver punch to the side of the abdomen with a minimum punch speed of 5 meters per second, it would be enough to cause liver injury. To put this in perspective, the average adult male is likely capable of punching at a speed of 6 meters per second, with estimates of pro boxers or MMA fighters punching over twice that. Here you can see the extent of liver damage caused by a 6 meter per second liver punch. A comparison of the simulated result on the right with the victim on.
What the Dude. Look at the damage on that from one single shot. If that is not nightmare fuel, I don't know what is. Am I the only one that's terrified by that? Yikes.
On the left shows
whose liver is this anyways?
The severity of such an injury. A perfectly placed liver shot with even moderate power and speed could rupture a liver. This is a fight between former UFC heavyweight champion Bas Rutten, an expert in liver shots, and Jason DeLucia. This shot right here is the famous shot that ruptured DeLucia's liver. Okay, injury or not, the liver shot is still going to take you out, at least temporarily. And the cause of this sudden paralysis isn't just due to extreme pain. Physiologically, there's actually more going on. When a punch initially lands on the liver, there are dynamic pressure changes in the organ itself. The liver is flexible, it's pliable, so if one side of the liver gets compressed with a punch, the other side will get stretched. There are a lot of nerve fibers in the capsule around the liver, linking it directly to the autonomic nervous system. So as the liver gets compressed and stretched from the impact, you get.
What the hell is autonomic nervous system? I guess you might explain it next, but yeah, I don't know what
signals that move along this pathway. The part of the nervous system that controls involuntary actions is the autonomic nervous system, or ANS. Now, the longest nerve of the ANS is the vagus nerve, and when this gets stimulated, a series of events start to unfold. First, there's a sudden dilation or widening of blood vessels all over your body, with the exception of the brain. Normally when this happens, your heart rate increases to maintain blood pressure to the cardiovascular system. But in this case, the stimulation of the vagal nerve network causes a decrease in heart rate. This happens at the same time as the dilation of blood vessels, so the blood pressure drops dramatically. In a last-ditch effort...
That makes perfect sense. Why, when you get hit in the liver, it actually makes you dizzy. And some people actually go unconscious. Some people actually will pass out from getting hit in the liver. That makes perfect sense.
Effort to control the blood pressure and maintain blood flow to the brain, since the functioning brain is vital for life, the body tries to force itself into a horizontal or supine position. This survival tactic is the reason for the collapse, and if the liver shot is severe enough, you can also lose consciousness. In a professional fight setting, all of this is amplified due to the additional elements of pain, stress, and dehydration from the weight.
That's a big one.
You may be asking yourself why this doesn't seem to happen with other internal organs, but the truth is, it does. Many organs are susceptible in the same way. It's just that with the liver being the largest organ in the abdomen and situated in a relatively precarious position that is protruding slightly from under the ribcage,
it's easier to get hit. That makes perfect sense. See, these are some of the questions that I personally have always had. Like, why the liver? When a fighter is getting hit in the midsection, right? The kicks are connecting in all over the place. Like, I've always wondered why specifically the liver. What is it about the freaking liver that makes it like, oh, it's like, oh, if you get hit in the liver, oh my God, you're gonna get folded in like a freaking launch. Like, why the liver? Why is it that, like, dude, you have your heart right there, you have your stomach, you have your kidney, your and all that, your freaking large intestines and all that. Why the liver? Well, makes perfect sense because it's freaking big. It's the biggest organ in your midsection, so it's the easiest one to actually make contact with. That makes perfect sense, dude. So like pretty much what that means is that if every other organ was around the same size as the liver, or if a different organ was big, dude, imagine if our heart was as big as the liver, dude. Imagine that. Imagine if our heart was as big as the liver, man, and people are getting kicked in the midsection, bro. That's something.
Larger and more exposed target. The kidneys, in comparison, are a lot less vulnerable due to the surrounding muscle mass as well as being hidden well within the rib cage.
Makes sense.
As we've evolved over time, the role of the liver has increased in importance, leading to an increase in size. Why the rib cage didn't expand to fully protect the liver, a vital organ, remains unclear. But as we all know, the human body isn't a perfect system. At the end of the day, if you get punched in the liver, you will go down. But as defenseless as you may feel, perhaps there's still a chance that you're the one who will deliver the final blow.
Thanks for
watching.
What you did there.
We hope you enjoyed this topic.
Very insightful video. Very insightful video. So in this conversation about the liver, of course, resurfaced after the boxing match between Tank Davis. Yeah, after the boxing match that we just had, where he won by a brutal shot to the liver, and Ryan Garcia, the Ryan Garcia versus Davis, because he got stopped by a perfectly placed shot to the liver, and I saw that fight, man. The fight was going pretty good. Garcia had his body getting targeted quite a bit, but then that one shot, it was perfectly placed. And there's been a lot of narrative going around that, like, oh, an MMA fighter would easily tank that. That's a narrative that's been going around on Twitter. I saw that a little bit. But as you guys have seen, man, the anatomy, right? Just the fact that it's so freaking exposed, it makes perfect sense why a liver shot is so goddamn devastating. It's one of those things, man, that like no amount of toughness is going to allow you to withstand it. Of course, right? Of course, there's some people with a lot more willpower and they might be able to like withstand it a bit longer. But it's the one shot. It's the one shot that we've seen even the toughest fighters out there. The moment that thing connects, the moment it hits, you see them just collapse. The body just shuts down, and you got to take a moment. It's kind of like getting hit in the nuts, right? Like getting hit in the balls. Like, you got to take a moment. Even if you're really, really tough, when that thing connects, you need a moment. You can't just walk. You can't just easily take that. So just thought I'd share that. I find all this stuff to be very fascinating. It definitely makes me. I don't think I've ever been hit in the liver. Like, I think I've felt liver shots, but like by mistake while rolling, right? Like a knee connects a little bit and like you feel it, but never like a punch or anything or a kick. I've never been hit there, I should say. And I'm very glad about that, because learning how little force is required to rupture it and cause serious damage, that unlocked a brand new nightmare for me, bro, because I'm not trying to deal with that shit, dude. Like, I've had a broken rib, fractured rib. I've torn my ACL, but like that whole liver business, bro, I'm really trying to avoid that crap. So the more you know, the more you know. Anyways, hope you guys found that to be informative. And if you enjoy this type of video, let me know, and we might do more of that in the future. As always, though, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Have a good night.